economic growth to improve life for all Prince Georgians, expanding investments that improve quality of life overall. In our FY 2024 budget, we will continue to invest in our proud priorities to accomplish this goal. Together, through prudent fiscal management, active participation in the legislative process, and efforts to include Prince Georgians in every part of governing, we've set our community on a path to greater long-term success. During this second term, we will finish what we started. Over the past 4 years, despite combating COVID-19, we made tremendous progress. We moved forward with police reforms, launched new initiatives to grow our economy along the Blue Line and future Purple Line, and worked to protect workforce housing, all while breaking ground on 10 new schools. We secured historic education funding, opened new libraries, and moved forward on all of our proud priorities. As we have in past years, we want our budget to reflect our proud priorities. These priorities guide our work. Over the first term, these goals have helped us achieve more for Prince George's County. Our 6 categories of proud priorities include education, youth development, quality of life, economic development, healthy communities, and safe neighborhoods. Our task in county government is to seize this moment for residents by advancing our proud priorities. In FY 2024, we will follow the same successful course that has helped us create historic opportunities in our community. We will build on our success by securing greater investment in key initiatives and projects from across the county. This means greater investment in growth along the Blue Line corridor and across the county. Greater investments in health and safety, especially to combat violent crime, and investments that ensure the success of our workforce housing programs. We want to continue our track record of renewed investment in programs that help reduce gun violence. We also want to continue to improve government efficiency through investments in things like permitting and reducing the time it takes to hire new employees. Last year, we renewed our focus on county beautification. In FY 2024, we want to keep up the pressure and keep moving forward on our beautification programs. Likewise, with our efforts to address climate change and prevent flooding. We will continue to invest in programs that make our county an attractive place for business. We're focused on easier permitting, procurement modernization, and hiring more employees, which will make government work better for our residents and our business community. During the first term of this administration, these funding priorities made Prince George's County even better. We will stay focused on our proud priorities and make sure that this government maximizes the potential of growth for every resident from every walk of life. Through our county budget process, we have a chance to hear from our agencies regarding their budget priorities for the coming fiscal year. But right now, we want to hear from our residents. We represent you and the services that our county agencies provide for you. Your voices are a critical part of this budget process. Your input helps us make progress on the issues that matter most to Prince Georgians. Once again, thank you all for being here and being engaged with your county government. We truly could not do this work without you. And I look forward to hearing from all of you and the priorities you want to see us focus on this upcoming budget. With that, I'll turn over to our budget team to go over some logistics so we can get started. I want to once again thank everyone for taking the time to be here today. Your questions and input help make the budget better and more reflective of the priorities Prince Georgians hold dear. Every year, the county budget process represents an opportunity for all of us to come together and think about our priorities. This year, we're excited to build on our successful first term and go further for Prince Georgians. With the input we've received from all of you, we will go forward and build a county budget that works for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, County Executive Alston Brooks. So before we begin the meeting, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items to help ensure a smooth evening session this evening. Number one, if you have registered to speak, please make sure your Zoom name reflects the name you used to register for the budget listening session. This is critical, so we'll be able to find your name and unmute you to begin your remarks. Second, please turn on your camera once your name is announced, and you will be allocated 3 minutes to make your remarks this evening. Please conclude your remarks once you hear the tone. If you're on the Zoom platform, closed captioning is available for all residents who may need this service. Please go to the toolbar at the bottom of your screen and click closed captioning and select show subtitle. Additionally, Spanish language translation services are also available. If you need Spanish translation, please go to the toolbar at the bottom of your screen and click the interpretation button and choose the Spanish interpretation channel. And lastly, the Office of Management and Budget is continuing to accept written comments on the FY 2024 proposed budget. All written comments must be submitted to omb@co.pg.md.us by the close of business on Friday, January 27th, 2023. Now, I will start calling the first speaker now. Please note that we have 125 speakers registered this evening, so I will call several names in order, and I'll also try to add them to the chat so you'll know where you are in the order. As we progress through the evening, please pay attention to the tone so we can get through all participants this evening. Give me 1 second. The first speaker this evening is Dr. Bethany Strong.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Good evening, County Executive Alsa Brooks. My name is Dr. Bethany Strong, and I am a trauma surgeon at the University of Maryland Capital Region Medical Center. I completed my medical education at Harvard Medical School and followed that with general surgery residency at Brigham and Women's Hospital. I also completed a preventive medicine residency focusing on injury and violence prevention in Baltimore. I come before you this evening to highlight the University of Maryland Capital Region Medical Center Violence Intervention Program, or commonly known as CAP-VIP, and highlight its importance. We are the only trauma center in Prince George's County, and we are actually the second busiest in the state of Maryland, treating an average of 740 violently injured patients per year. We engage these patients while in the hospital during that critical time after injury in an effort to foster change far beyond inpatient discharge. CAP-VIP targets the most at-risk victims within the community, and the aims of this program are to reduce the likelihood of trauma and criminal recidivism, to prevent retaliatory violence in our local community, to provide mentoring and peer support for survivors of violent injury, and to use a holistic approach involving family and caregivers. As a snapshot of our 2022 services, we were able to make contact and continue to maintain 106 survivors and consent over 30 to participate and encourage them to attend their follow-up clinic appointments. As we know, overall health contributes to our recovery from injury. 35 patients were referred to behavioral science and counseling services. 14 were able to be plugged into work programs, and 2 participants were able to be fully funded for paid FMLA to encourage continued recovery. To illustrate the impact of this program, just one of our success stories is a criminal recidivist who is a 24-year-old African-American male who suffered a gunshot wound in both 2020 and 2021, in addition to 2022. He had no high school diploma and had 2 children and no significant work history. We were able to provide job training and also men's group support and referral to an apprenticeship program so he could acquire the necessary skills. He's currently working towards his GED and has already received job placement. This is just one of our many successes that we've had as a program, in addition to currently planning a community anti-violence event. While we are awaiting the decisions on program funding from grants from the county, being the Hope in Action and Community Partnership Grant, both for fiscal year 2023, we respectfully request future financial support as a component of the Prince George's County budget to provide more consistent funding. As you know, consistent funding will allow us to better recruit violence intervention specialists, case managers, and data analysts to maintain and expand our program. We want to continue to provide these services for victims of violence in the community and limit the amount of violent injury that occurs. We have provided additional details in our written testimony. Thank you all so much for this opportunity to present this critical program, and I will take any questions at this time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Strong, for the presentation and for the great work you're doing. Tell me, please, what's the name? Could you tell me the whole name of the program once more?
Yes, the program is called CAP, C-A-P, VIP, VIP, and it stands for Capital Region Violence Intervention Program.
Okay. Okay. And you said that you did already apply for the money through the Hope Collective?
Yes, we did.
Okay. All right, that's perfect. Okay, I really appreciate the information. And again, I'm just really grateful for the work you're doing. But thank you so much. And we'll follow up about this one. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Strong. The next speaker is Liz Park.
Hi, thank you so much for allowing me to speak this evening. I'm here to speak about youth service bureaus. We applaud the county's commitment to addressing the mental health issues of our young people in the county. As you know, the Surgeon General is calling it an epidemic with increases in depression, anxiety, and most tragically, suicide attempts among our young people. The county's longstanding partnership with local municipalities to fund youth service bureaus demonstrates your commitment to this critical issue facing our young people. The 5 bureaus are located in Bowie, College Park, District Heights, Greenbelt, and Laurel. The county's partnership funds allow us to serve county-wide residents and with these critical mental health services. Youth service bureaus work with children, youth, young adults, and their families. This family approach is key to our success in working with them. Research shows that working with the whole family improves outcome not only for the young person, but for everyone in the family. I'm here today to express our gratitude for this partnership with the county and to ask that $775,000 be included in the FY-24 budget to continue this partnership, meaning for the 5 youth service bureaus, it would be $155,000 per bureau. Thank you again for this time to speak on this critical topic of mental health services for our young people in the county. And I have also submitted written testimony. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Park. County Executive, did you?
No, thank you so much, Ms. Park. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Vini DeLoviera. Okay, I will come back to you. I will go to the next person, Robert Baynard. Thank you.
Evening. My name is Robert Baynard, and I'm the chair of the board of directors for the Prince George's Provider Council, a membership organization of over 35 companies that provide a wide array of services and supports to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Excuse me. I'd like to start by thanking you for the opportunity to provide testimony on the FY-24 budget. I'd also like to thank you for your continued support during your tenure as county executive. For the last 6 years, the Prince George's Provider Council has been able to partner with the county to offer provider agencies all throughout Prince George's County a grant to help supplement the wages that they pay their staff. This supplement has helped companies raise their wage for the important work by over $1 per hour. These direct support staff are crucial to the daily lives of Prince Georgians living with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so we are asking for the supplement to be increased to $5.4 million for fiscal year 24. Last year at this time, our membership reported over 500 staff vacancies. The supplement has helped that number come down over the last year, but there is still more work to be done. Currently, we have more than 428 vacancies across agencies supporting people with IDD, a number that is still too high and is impacting the ability for people in the county to access the services that they need. Currently, we know there are over 200 people enrolled in services through the Developmental Disabilities Administration here in Prince George's County that are not able to be served because our organizations are not able to hire and retain staff. Our turnover rates continue to be above 30%. Fortunately, we have seen our vacancy rates decline over the last year from 35% to 25%, but we still have a long way to go to ensure that our organizations are staffed at appropriate levels, and we need to be able to attract a quality workforce. State funding rates have not kept pace with the growing minimum wage or inflation, and developmental disability service providers are now forced to continuously offer low wages that are often right around the minimum wage mark. These are not minimum wage jobs. The positions require staff to work with medically fragile individuals, pass medication for people, ensure needed medical care is obtained, provide personal care, and help ensure that individuals obtain and maintain employment, and connect people with needed resources, just to name a few. Also, these staff are now going to be required to produce high-quality documentation of all activities. Yet most positions start at a wage lower than what can be earned at Chick-fil-A or Walmart or Wegmans. We simply cannot compete with industries that pay better and require less expertise. These are professional positions that require a professional wage. Additionally, these staff shortages impact the caregivers and families of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The inability to access the approved services creates situations where families are forced to provide the supports needed. The lack of support is a huge burden to families and caregivers of those with disabilities. They have no respite and have to alter their lives to ensure the care for their loved ones. While raising the supplement to $5.4 million will not resolve each of these issues, it will help organizations tremendously to begin the process of bringing people into and back into services. In closing, we thank you again for your support through the years and hope that you will be able to find room in the budget for an increase to our supplement to $5.4 million for FY24. We are always happy to meet with you and or your staff to discuss any concerns or answer any questions that you may have. And as always, we would be very happy to invite you to visit some of our agencies to see the services in action. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, Mr. Delio, I'm sorry. Mr. Vini, can you pronounce your name for me?
It was De Oliveira. You had it the first time.
Okay, I was scared. Please start.
Don't start. And hello, peace and greetings, and hello, County Executive. It's me from yesterday. Thank God it's today, man. I saw you at the restaurant. Hello.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to be very quick. I am the proud owner of a Prince George's County-based firm right here in Laurel, Maryland, XTT Life, where we supply eco-friendly products for fleets of vehicles. The product that I want to bring to your attention is our burn rate modifier. And we're currently working with different municipalities in Montgomery County, Baltimore County, Baltimore City. And as of late, we made our way over to Atlanta, and we're currently servicing the United States Postal Service with our burn rate modifier, where we're saving 10% on a total fuel bill for just 2.5% of the cost. But more importantly, our burn rate modifier is reducing about 40% of the greenhouse, the emissions that's being produced into our atmosphere. What I would like to do is, I was told that you are the person that should reach to. Jonathan Butler, spoke to him, awesome gentleman. But what I was hoping to do is to work with Prince George's County school buses. And I would like to do something similar to what we did with MTA and the State Highway Administration and do a pilot program. And we have document next to the Holy Bible. The most important documents I have are the carbon mass balance test that MTA paid a third-party company, where it shows all of these numbers. So I want to thank you for allowing me space to speak from the heart. And I hope and pray to God that I can work in the county that I reside in, where my children are Prince George's County based. They graduated from over here. And now we're going to be working with the state of Maryland very soon. But it's vital, it's important that I have the county where I reside in also use this product. Thank you very much, and peace and blessings. And thank God it's today.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Ms. Belinda Queen.
Thank you so very much. Good evening, County Executive. To everyone else, I am Belinda Queen. I'm not actually speaking on behalf of the company. I'm speaking on behalf as a resident, on behalf of our Park and Recreation, on behalf of our Prince George's County Public School Board, on behalf of the Central Coalition, and our coffee circles in the community. So I'm speaking on behalf of the people in this county who you represent. First, we want to talk about County Executive. It's the services for Park and Recreation. Park and Recreation have done a great job of providing services in the area, but we need to invest more money into the communities that do not have recreation centers. So if you can find it in your budget to put more money into Park and Recreation so they can bring the mobiles out to the communities that do not have recreation centers, that do not have community centers, we have to invest more money in bringing activities to the people to keep our youth out of trouble. With our school system, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all the money the county has invested last year into Prince George's County Public Schools. I'm kind of worried and scared, especially since we're going to lose our CEO. I mean, that would take all my minutes if I talk about the love and support I have for Dr. Golson. But I just want you to think really, invest what you can to invest as much, because I don't know who the next CEO, but I know Dr. Golson has invested in a lot of programs. She had worked really hard with the board to make sure Prince George's County Public School is where it is today. And I would hate to see us fall back. So whatever you do, please try to invest just as much money for the next CEO. As far as for the community, a lot of the services, we have always, and I want to say kudos to what you're doing for litter, but it has been a big problem within our county. Please invest more money into the litter programs. I kind of wish that people, when they're picking it up, the contractors will take the trash with them and stop leaving it on the side of the road, because it makes our road look bad. But thank you for all the money that you are investing in the litter program. Another thing I wanted to bring to your attention is, and I don't know how you can do with County Executive, but we have developers coming in our county, and they developed, which I have no problem with development, but then they started naming streets after people we never heard of. I don't know how we in the county can have developers. We have so many people who have done great things in our county, and they name streets that have no meaning to Prince George's County. I think it needs to be a stipulation when developers are coming here and they naming some of these streets, because they have no meaning to the area when they come to a community, especially an established community, and all of a sudden this name that has no meaning to the community. I think power is in the names and what the people have paved the way for this county. So I don't know how you can look at that, but there may be something we want to think about as a county. When developers come and they're able to name streets. I don't know if we charge them a fee or we suggested they name streets after something that meant something in that community. Another thing real quick I'm gonna throw out there, and I promise it'll be the last thing, is County Executive, please continue to invest more money into the programs when they come out to look at the cars, what's going on, because there's been a lot of cars that's in Prince George's County that don't belong to Prince George's County. They're driving around with tags all over. We got to do something to handle that issue, to make sure that people who live in this area have Maryland tags, and people who don't live in this area, and if they're parking their cars in our streets, somehow we got to make some money off of them, because they're getting insurance from out of the area. And it's not fair to the residents who are paving the way for this county. Again, I want to say thank you for all you have done. All you're doing is so many other things that I can talk about, but we'll talk about on another level, maybe when I get you at the coffee circle. But thank you so very much again.
Thank you so much, Ms. Queen. Thank you, Belinda.
All right, be blessed.
Thank you. The next speaker is Amy Progoski.
Hello, good evening. My name is Amy Progoski. I've been a homeowner in District 1 for over 22 years, and I have volunteered at the county animal shelter for over 17 years. A somber anniversary is coming up for Prince George's County. February 9th is the 26th anniversary of the county's discriminatory, arbitrary, and expensive pit bull ban or breed-specific legislation. The pit bull ban is unnecessary because the county already has a dangerous dog law that covers all breeds. The updated Animal Control Code CB 46-2019 went into effect 3 years ago now. Unfortunately, it was not funded because we are still not enforcing it completely. The money spent on BSL would be better spent enforcing the updated animal control code, more spay-neuter education and grants, and making the county a place where all are welcome so families don't move out or have their beloved pet taken from them. If you want our residents to be proud of the county, stop vilifying dogs just on appearance alone. This afternoon, there are 122 stray dogs in your shelter. 44 of them are labeled as pit bull type dogs. How can anyone call the ban a success and keep it in place if after 26 years, 36% of the shelter stray population is the banned breed? BSL is a waste of resources. Please be more fiscally responsible with our tax dollars. The county animal shelter is in desperate need of increased staffing. On Sunday evening shifts, there are typically only 2 caretakers assigned to care for over 150 dogs. That's physically impossible. Staff needs more training so there are no more missteps with missed vaccines, boosters, microchips, or even gender labeling, and the very important cleaning protocols to keep diseases like parvo minimized. The small nonprofit groups who pull the dogs from the shelter spend thousands of dollars to care for dogs who come out of the shelter with parvo, pneumonia, and other diseases. We have been in the new shelter for 14 years now, yet there is still not a cohesive set of standard operating procedures. We are told, give us more time. It's been 14 years. When I recently asked DOE leadership about a compassion fatigue course that was being offered online, I was told there was no budget. Working and volunteering at a high volume open and mission shelter is both physically and mentally grueling. You need to work on staff retention. Turnover is very high there. Even many volunteers don't stay because of the difficult environment. For management positions, you need to offer higher compensation to attract people experienced in the animal sheltering field. Long-term staff experiences burnout, and many new staff members don't have shelter experience. The hundreds of animals who are in the care of Prince George's County every single day deserve so much more than the county is giving to them. They too deserve a good quality of life, which is one of your proud priorities. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Ms. Tanika Hoffman.
Can everyone hear me and see me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Tanika Hoffman. I am the Executive Director of the Sickle Cell Coalition of Maryland. I started the Sickle Cell Coalition of Maryland because I have sickle cell disease. And in Prince George's County, we have the largest sickle cell population in the state of Maryland. 2,000 patients reside in Prince George's County. Of the adults, there is nowhere for them to go. The majority of patients have to travel hours to Baltimore to go to Johns Hopkins, or they fall out of support and care. 2 years ago, Johns Hopkins, the University of Maryland Capital Region, my organization, the Sickle Cell Association of Maryland, and the Sickle Cell Association of Cecil and Harford County applied for a Pathways grant for $2 million. We were awarded that $2 million last year. We are developing the first comprehensive sickle cell center in Prince George's County at the new University of Maryland Capital Region Hospital Center. We have the plan of onboarding 7 seats where sickle cell patients can come in a place where they won't be judged or told that they're drug addicts because they receive large amounts of narcotic to address their pain. These 7 seats will also give patients the opportunity to have blood transfusions, be connected to a social worker who we are currently searching for right now, and have access to resources such as free rides to their appointments and access to vouchers for food. I am asking that the county will consider giving $200,000 to the Sickle Cell Coalition of Maryland so that we are able to support patients. Sickle cell disease is a forgotten disease, and people within our community do not talk about it. And it's an important issue because a lot of us have sickle cell trait, and we don't know that we're walking around with sickle cell trait, resulting in babies being born with sickle cell disease. And so I'm asking that the county and the executive would consider our organization, consider the work John Hopkins, our organization, and the other advocates in Prince George's County has done, but also noting that we need a lot more support to hire more staff at the University of Maryland Capital Region. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffman. The next speaker is Ms. Melissa Schweiger. I'm sorry, County Executive, did you want to make a comment?
Oh, I was just thanking Ms. Hoffman so much for coming on, and thank you for the work. This is really great. We do realize that sickle cell disproportionately affects so many of our residents, and I just want to thank you for the work you're doing and look forward to looking at how we can further support you.
Thank you. We will submit our comments as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Melissa Swigert.
Okay, good evening. My name is Melissa Schweisguth. I live in District 2, and I first just wanted to thank Executive Also Brooks and all the rest of the staff and the counselors who are listening this evening. I really appreciate your time listening to quite a long session on a long work day. I walk, I bike, I foster cats for the county shelter. I adopted a trail and clean it. So today I'm going to speak about safe streets, support for the shelter, trail maintenance, and the environment super quick. So safe streets. Last year, in FY-23, the current year, our county allocated about $24 million for safe streets, looking at Vision Zero, complete streets, and some pedestrian and safety improvements. Well, Montgomery County allocated about $123 million. That's almost a 5 times difference. We have, as many of you know, the highest road fatality rate, highest rate of crashes, fatal and high injury crashes in the state, in the region. Why is that? We are underinvesting in safe streets. So I'm asking us to do more. Number one, invest more money, at least what Montgomery County is investing. Number two, be more strategic. So it's not just throwing a lot of money at giveaways, at handing out reflective vests and education, but how can we be more strategic? Look at our data, use the data that we have. We have all the crash data to prevent, to find out what kinds of streets, what kinds of structures and designs do we need to fix to prevent the next accident. So I'm going to move on to the county shelter. Wanted to just second everything that was said about breed-specific legislation. As the county knows, there was also a lawsuit, and now the county has sort of, quietly stopped enforcing that because we realized that pit bull isn't even really a recognizable breed. The shelter is very under-resourced. It could definitely use some funding for a vet and some more space for animals, again, to bring down that kill rate. I have fostered 57 cats, costing me about $1,200 in 2 years. Several of those cats died due to lack of a vet care or lack of a machine like an ultrasound that could have found that one of my cats had kittens and said they spayed her, and those 3 kittens were not able to survive. I had another cat with pneumonia, could have been found out with an X-ray. So again, just helping to bring that kill rate further, it will really improve the staff morale. They work so hard, they're wonderful. Just wanted to ask, please fully fund the climate action plan implementation and also trail maintenance to complement what parks do, and invasive removals. Thank you so much for all you do, and have a wonderful evening. I really appreciate your time and all you do for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jeff Lemieux.
Thank you. Jeff Lemieux here from Greenbelt, Greenbelt resident, and our family owns a small business in College Park, but I'm speaking just on my own behalf rather than that of an association or organization. I want to follow up perhaps serendipitously on Melissa's comments. In 2022, the latest data shows that we had 121 fatalities on our roads. That's more than the number of homicides in Prince George's County, which the Washington Post reported at 103. And I believe this should be a very, very high priority for our county. And I'd like to propose a couple of very specific things. I think in addition to funding our Vision Zero program at the level that's equivalent to Montgomery County, it needs to be operationalized. Most of the people who are dying on county roads are dying on roads that are built and maintained by the State Highway Administration, MDOT. And I think that the people who are running our Vision Zero program now are collecting data, they're doing studies, they're doing education, and that's great, nothing wrong with that. But we need to be fighting for safe streets throughout Maryland. We've had in our throughout our county, we've had in our master plan a shared use path along 193 from Watkins Regional Park to Montgomery County line since 2009. Route 450 is not safe to walk or bike or scoot alongside. 202, you can go through the list of these state roads. So we need an organization within DPW&T, within our Vision Zero effort, whose job it is to do everything possible to make, to help, to cajole, to embarrass, to do everything we can do to get the State Highway Administration to make sure that our numbered roads in Prince George's County are safe for all users and that we're leaving no one behind, so to speak. I think the Moore Miller administration will agree with that. It's just operationalizing it. The state highway is so hard. There's silos, there's ingrained ways of doing things. And I think we can send a message when we send our priorities to MDOT for the roadways. If we make Vision Zero, safe numbered roads in Prince George's County our top priority. I'll give one final direct example. I'm working to try and improve the safety of Route 193 between Eleanor Roosevelt High School and Greenbelt and Duval High School on Good Luck Road, a couple miles down the road. That could be extended even further down to Lanham Severn Road and all the way down to the Glendale Splash Park, linking trails so that people could bike and ride safely in that area. Route 193 is a special project of mine. 2 people from our church have been terribly hurt in crashes on or near Route 193. And that road needs to be calmed, and State Highway needs to do it. And we need to get the grants, go to the meetings, show up on their doorstep as often as possible to make that happen. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Yuri Bobowski.
Yes, good evening. Thank you. It's Yuri Borowski. I'm a now resident of, oh gosh, time goes fast, 6 years of Prince George's County. Feels like it was yesterday I had the U-Haul truck in my driveway here. It's been a lovely 6 years in many ways, but in many ways it's been a struggle. I practically gave up cycling. I used to be a very big cyclist back in my home country of Ukraine, which frankly is not known for great cycling, to be honest. I'll be honest with you as far as Europe goes. But Prince George's County is terrible when it comes to cycling. It's dangerous. It's very difficult here, county executive. I was recently really inspired by some of the words you said in the video. Was this famous personality, I am blanking on his name, Joe Claire, where you were at the station at the Edison Metro, and you were also at our platform at the Morgan station, and you spoke about active transportation and the Central Avenue connecting trail. It was very inspirational. But that Central Avenue connecting trail that you've mentioned that it's there, well, it's not there. And I don't know when it's going to be there because I've been in touch with the project team for many years. So yeah, not trying to rain on our parade here, but more funding for safer streets, for bicycling, for ability to access the public transit have. Case in focus, we are about to get an advanced auto parts store, which clearly everyone's going to drive to, right next to the Morgan Boulevard metro station here. That's done under the outgoing zoning regulation, but it still means that our 200 homes are going to be cut away by additional driveways populated by vehicles from accessing the metro station. And I've been asking for a little bit of a pedestrian shortcut through a public right-of-way that's currently woods so that our homes can access the metro station without going onto this Central Avenue area, and that doesn't seem to be in the budget for years to come. So I'm just asking for more funding so that I can get back on my bike. And I also want to thank you for all the litter blitz that you've done, and also for your highlighting the Blue Line Corridor on the Joe Claire show on Fox 5. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yuri. I just wanted to let you know that we actually were able to secure $4 million we did last year for the Central Avenue Connector Trail.
Yes.
More to come. And so you haven't seen it yet, but you should know that the funding has already been approved. We brought it back to Prince George's County, and we're getting more for that Central Avenue Connector Trail. So our trails are horrible. I agree with you that that it's not bikeable. It's not walkable in so many communities, but that's what we're working on. The $400 million that we got for that Blue Line Corridor includes a complete streets change that will address the kind of concerns you're talking about, not just here, but in New Carrollton, in other places. We're securing funding for that. So we're working on it. We're working on it. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And do know we have taken down all of these concerns, and we're going to be working to make sure that we, if not here, we're getting funding from the state and also the federal government to address many of those concerns. But
please, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Shannon Mountain.
Good evening, it's Shannon Mouton. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Good evening, County Executive Also Brooks, and thank you for the opportunity to testify this evening. I am Shannon Mouton, Executive Director for Laurel Advocacy and Referral Services. For more than 35 years, we have provided critical services such as food, eviction prevention relief, and long-term housing to low-income individuals and families living in the greater Laurel area. Prince George's County has been an unwavering financial supporter of LARS, and we are thankful. However, as the pandemic's aftermath continues to strain personal resources, the need in our communities has increased. Continued funding from Prince George's County will ensure that LARS has the capacity to meet the steadily increasing number of requests and higher level of need for safety net services. At LARS, we feel the best way to combat homelessness is to keep people from becoming homeless, which is why I am here to request an award for eviction prevention services in the amount of $200,000 for the fiscal year 2024 budget. These numbers speak to our need. In fiscal year 2021, LARS distributed more than $250,000 in eviction prevention funding, and we dispensed more than $408,000 this past fiscal year. Much to our surprise and dismay, for the first 6 months of our current fiscal year, we have already provided Laurel residents with more than $320,000 in rental support. We are on pace to help our fellow Prince Georgians with more than $600,000 in rental assistance, and it's anyone's guess what next year will bring. As rent increases, utilities increase, and the cost of basic essentials become further and further out of reach, more and more people will need help. LARS is here. We're ready to serve. We're ready to work. We only need the funds to get it done. Thank you for your time, continued support, and attention this evening, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jonathan Brown. Oh, sorry, County Executive.
I was just saying thank you. That's all, just saying thank you.
Okay, Jonathan Brown, next speaker.
Hello and good evening, County CEO. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Jonathan Brown. I'm a District 6 resident. I'm also the president of the Fairwood Community Association, but tonight I'm here speaking as a proud Prince Georgian. First of all, there's no tougher task than going through a budget and organizing it when everything's a critical need, and there's tons of great ways in which taxpayer money is spent for people, and I definitely do appreciate that. In terms of a philosophy I would encourage before the specific request that I would have for consideration is a focus on just back to the basics in terms of looking at our education and our public safety and the basic kind of arteries of what the local government provides that can't be found in the private sector, just to making sure that those things are really filtered through to the max. And one thing in particular I would ask, and we've seen at the state levels with Governor Moore, and seeing that releasing $500 million, billion total toward infrastructure, which is much needed, as well as to the Kirwan Commission in terms of improving our school system is much needed. And a specific request I would ask of you, ma'am, is to consider placing a long overdue school within Fairwood, which was not to serve just the Fairwood community, but to serve Prince George's community at large. This school has been conducted a feasibility study back in 2018, and the feasibility study was conducted by the Department of Capital Programs on behalf of the Prince George's County Public School System. Basically, there was three options that came with this: rehabilitate, Woodmore, rebuild Woodmore, or build a new school. The study came forth and it bared results that a replacement school within Fairwood on land already owned by the school board was the best option. So once again, and I know you're a very, I'm preaching to the choir for lack of better terms, you're a very proud proponent of education. You've stood strong on these issues, and I appreciate that. And this is something that I would ask you to consider carving aside some funds and getting our kids into a 21st century building, pushing forward something that you've fought for many times, which is improving our education, because our children are our future, and that's very important. Thank you for your time. Very tough decisions ahead of you. I don't envy that at all, but I'm happy that you're at the helm and making these tough decisions for us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. Thank you. And we do recognize the need for that school in Fairwood. This has been on the table for so long. And we've been just working to try to find a solution to get that school over there to you as quickly as possible. That's what I can tell you, is it has not gone on deaf ears. And even as we're in the legislative session, just kind of trying to work through to see how we can prioritize it. But thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. The next speaker is Katrin Conroy.
Hi, good evening. My name is Katrin Conroy. I'm a District 8 homeowner and resident, and I love living in Prince George's County. I proudly participate in the Camp Springs Civic Association, serve on your Animal Control Commission, and foster dogs for the shelter and local rescues. I'm the co-founder of a Prince George's nonprofit called PB Proud that focuses on supporting our community by keeping pets with their people. I'm here today on behalf of our numerous volunteers and community members. And with 125 registered speakers, I think that we're all glad I'm the single representative for the large group. As an organization, we advocate for more effective animal control laws, provide support for foster humans of shelter animals, and owners of pets in our county. We attempt to reduce the burden on the already overcrowded Prince George's County shelter through assisting owners with issues to prevent them from needing to give up, turn over, or abandon their animal. We assist in spay neuter, microchipping, tagging and collars, leashes, and food programs for pets. We are pleased to serve our community and support our shelter, and are here today instead of asking for funding for our organization. We are here to encourage greater funding and reallocation of resources to better serve the Prince George's County Animal Shelter. Our shelter is overcrowded and undersupported with laws that don't serve us, and in the situation of the pit bull ban are simply a waste of money in a wide variety of ways. These factors take an incredible toll on the physical and emotional well-being of the animals and the physical and emotional well-being of the ACO's shelter staff and volunteers, as well as strongly impact the safety of our community. Adoptable animals are killed when more animals come in than can be adopted out and space is scarce. The staff and volunteers are held down and held back by lack of operating procedures, lack of adequate staffing, lack of leadership from the inside the building, and lack of training. Through reallocation of funds from programs that don't work, reassessing laws that are redundant and outdated, and updates to the facilities and staffing to allow for more community programs, the shelter could be turned around with minimal impact to our budget. Investing in our animal shelter is investing in our people. We have provided more details in our written statement. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you, Executive Elsa Brooks and present members of council and county leadership.
Thank you. Miss Alicia Moran. Miss Moran, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am. I was just observing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next person. Miss Linda Jones. Miss Jones. Okay. The next person. Anir. Comma. Anir, ask you to unmute.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi. Well, good evening, and thank you, County Executive Elsa Brooks, for all that you have done and are doing. I am the past president of the Fairwood Community Association, and I'm the current treasurer. I am speaking about the new home of Woodmore Elementary School, the Fairwood community. I have just a little to add on to what Jonathan Brown has already said. I was in the feasibility group that determined that the Fairwood location was the best new location for Woodmore Elementary School. I want to speak to the importance of funding this building, the school now, and not waiting any longer. As many of you know, a school is an anchor for a community. It gives an opportunity for our kids to grow up more connected to each other and strengthens our community. It also gives a chance for all the students who go there to benefit from that strength. As an example, I was one of a core group of parents who were actively engaged in the French Elementary School, formerly Robert Gardner, then Dora Kennedy, before it became a Blue Ribbon school. And I was a part of the Blue Ribbon application. At that time, I ran the largest USCF, United States Chess Federation Scholastic Chess Club in the county. About 100 kids came through my program, and they have gone on to do a lot of wonderful things in high school and college that would take too long to mention right now. That is the kind of active engagement you can expect from Fairwood residents that will benefit the whole school and county as a whole. Thank you for your time. That's it for me.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Donnie Joyner.
Can you all see me? I just wanted to make sure. Okay, great. Greetings. How are you all doing? How are you doing? County Councilmember Angela Elsa Brooks. I just wanted to just leave a comment. I wanted to say they're definitely doing, I'm just a citizen, I would say living in District 3. I just wanted to let you know that you're doing a great job within the county. Congratulations again, once again, on the next term for the next 4 years. You will be hearing a lot from me soon. I'm definitely a concerned resident within our community, and we're definitely making strides to make sure that all of our neighbors, I would say, have everything together so that way we can support you all as well as you all support us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Callie Crumples. Hello.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm Callie Crumpos. I'm here on behalf of the Capitol Trails Coalition, which is made up of more than 75 member organizations, including agencies, businesses, and community groups in Prince George's County, in Montgomery County in Maryland, the District of Columbia, and in Northern Virginia. We work with regional jurisdictions and local residents to prioritize the development, maintenance, and programming of the nearly 1,000 miles of planned and existing multi-use trails in the Capital Trails Network. More than 300 miles of those planned and existing trails are located in this county. However, more than 200 of those 300 miles haven't been completed yet. And as you know, some of the county's great trails are suffering from a lack of maintenance. It is so encouraging to hear County Executive Alsobrooks, your familiarity with the importance of continuing to build out the county's network of multi-use trails and to the maintenance of those facilities. We applaud your prioritization of the Blue Line Corridor, especially funding for the Central Avenue Connector Trail, which is one of the Capital Trails Coalition's priority trails. This trail will serve as a major trail or spine facility within the county and region. As you know, the focus on trails is also important to local residents. The Prince George's County Trails Master Plan found that nearly 80% of Prince George's County residents think it's very important to add, expand, and improve trails. We also know that multi-use trails produce significant benefits for our economy, public health, and the environment. In addition to funding the construction of specific trail projects, we also encourage funding for the people who will get the work done, such as staff people for the planning, maintenance, and trail management and operations, including engineers and landscape architects who specialize in bicycling and walking. I also want to emphasize and second the previous comments to improve the safety of the county's streets. We encourage your administration to help direct attention and dedicated funding to improve the safety and comfort of all people traveling and recreating in the county, especially those vulnerable road users like pedestrians and people on bikes. Thank you for your consideration. We look forward to working with you and your administration moving forward.
Thank you. The next speaker is David Richardson. Mr. Richardson, you have to unmute yourself. Okay, I will come back to Mr. Richardson. And the next person is Robin Tillery. Ms. Tillery, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I actually wasn't planning on speaking, but I just wanted to mention with all of I wanted to thank Ms. and also Brooks for all of her work. Now I wanted to mention I'm more concerned about the impact on the environment with all of the forthcoming development. And I wanted to ask whether when the developers come in and do all of their land clearing, whether there's any mandate or requirement that they preserve any percentage of the mature trees so that the residents are able to take advantage of the benefits of those mature trees as they help to improve the environment and so forth.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tillery. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. So to answer your question, the Department of Environment, we work with very closely, and we follow all of the stipulations to make sure that we're compliant with environmental rules and regulations. So you should know that we do take all of those things into consideration with each project.
Thank you. The next speaker is Amara Crooms.
Hello all, my name is Amara Crooms. I am a resident of the county, a small business owner, and an advocate and organizer in the community. This place is my home, it's my community. I feel safe here and like a part of something bigger than myself. One of the things that makes me really proud to be a Prince Georgian is the county's willingness to lead rather than follow, and to make decisions based on evidence rather than politics, and to strive to do good for the community regardless of the political winds about the country. I'm here today to ask that we continue to do so by redirecting funds away from policing our community to investing in approaches to community building that actually work. County Executive Alsobrooks, you've in the past shown real courage and leadership in redirecting funds from cops to an investment in our community's health. In taking this action, you've noted the mountains of data on public investment versus policing, so we in the community know that where our funds are best spent. We know that investment in police isn't actually an investment in public safety. So if not cops, what should we invest in? I had a whole list, but so many brilliant ideas have been raised today, ways to invest in health and safety of our community that don't involve people with guns. I just wanted to really elevate some of those, investing in our roads and sidewalks so that residents could walk or bike without fear of death would be amazing. Investing in jobs, whether local government or private sector opportunities, so that people have a means to live, to support themselves, their families, and their community. Investing in affordable housing for Prince Georgians is a fundamentally less violent and provably more effective means of community safety than police. Investing in health, you've led the way here via the creation of the mental health center. We should continue to invest in these things, the things that people need to survive. And finally, invest in the arts and enrichment. If we seek to strengthen our community, there's not many better ways to do so than investment in the arts. Investment in the arts extends beyond individual wants and needs to actually improve the quality of life across the community. The county has taken really brave action in the past to move from funding oppressive policing toward investment in us and our neighbors. I urge the county executive, I urge our electeds to continue to be those brave leaders to improve the lives of Prince Georgians while also showing the broader DMV actually that there's a path to community safety that isn't built on never-ending investment in cops, surveillance, and weapons. Our county's budget is an expression of our values and the things that we hope to invest in. Please show the public that we value the people of Prince George's rather than those who lock us up and do us harm. I understand this is hard. I understand that the news media and politicians will endlessly criticize any action against the status quo, but we've shown that we can do better, and I ask that we continue to strive to do so. Thanks.
Thank you. The next speaker is Janet Gringold. Sorry.
Hello, my name is Janet Gingold. I'm speaking today on behalf of the Prince George's County Sierra Club. We thank you for listening to the people as you prepare the budget. First, we urge you to fund the Fair Election Fund established by CB 99 2018. Ensuring fair elections is among the most important functions of government. Please make sure that the matching funds are available for the next election cycle. Next, we thank you for Executive Order number 5, 2022, a clear commitment to implementing climate action across all county operations. We are glad to see the Climate Action Implementation Task Force and Climate Resident Advisory Group up and running, and because that shows that you know that investing in change now will avoid greater costs in the future and help to address our health disparities and our social inequities. Each of the 26 priority recommendations in the Climate Action Plan is important for reaching our goals. In fiscal year 2024, we need to see funding for steps that set the stage for effective and equitable climate action in years to come, especially regarding staffing, professional development, community engagement, and data collection and communications. We hope you will build internal capacity to plan and implement climate action and position the county to make use of newly available federal funding. Increase funding for meaningful community engagement, not only to tell people what to do and how to do it, but also to listen to their needs and concerns. Continue with acceleration of the transition to renewable energy, electrification of the fleet, and improvements in building energy efficiency. Augment programs to assist low-income residents in weatherizing old homes and transitioning to efficient electric appliances and solar energy. Fund installation of electric vehicle charging stations in underserved communities. Fund development of a comprehensive building energy performance benchmarking program. Fund countywide composting and other waste reduction and diversion efforts. Fund correction of problems with the methane collection system at the Brown Station Road landfill. Fund upstream green infrastructure solutions that slow water down and soak it up. Ensure adequate resources for protecting existing natural places and ensuring no net tree loss. buy the Marlton Forest and conserve it as parkland, fund the development of improved mapping tools, fund the development of resilience hubs, provide resources and staff training needed to ensure adoption of updated building codes and standards in alignment with the Climate Solutions Now Act, fully fund implementation of the Climate Change Action Plan for county schools, and please do not fund any more synthetic turf fields. We've sent you some written comments with more details. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you. The next speaker is Angela Smith.
Thank you so much and good evening. I'm Angela Smith and I live in District 9. I currently serve as the president of the Board of Library Trustees for the Prince George's County Memorial Library System, and I've been a longtime patron. I'd like to start by thanking County Executive Also Brooks and her team for their continued support of our library system, especially with regards to employee recruitment and retention. As of last week, our library system has 43 positions that need to be filled, and 25% of them are branch supervisor positions. We have passionate, award-winning staff, and retaining our best and brightest employees while attracting top talent to our library system through competitive compensation and benefits needs to continue to be a priority. We are so excited for the upcoming opening of the renovated Surratt's Glen Branch Library. This branch is particularly special to me and my family because it provided a safe, quiet place for my son and I to bond and explore together shortly after he was placed with my husband and I in foster care in 2016. I learned many of my son's interests from watching him explore the shelves and engaging in the wonderful children's programming that the branch offered. I will forever be grateful for PGC, MLS, and the staff for this, and cannot wait to see our home branch reopen and invite you all to come and join us for this event. This past year, we opened the Hyattsville Branch Library, now the most visited branch of our 19 locations with over 127,000 visits in just 10 months. This branch has over 85 public computers and is a community hub for the local immigrant and refugee populations that assists them with learning computer skills, getting help with immigration paperwork and social services, and also borrowing educational materials. Our library continues to lead the county's efforts to bridge the digital divide, bringing resources like the aforementioned public computers, 24/7 Wi-Fi, and borrowable Chromebooks and hotspots with unlimited data to the 116,000 county residents who lack home broadband. Since we started offering Chromebooks in FY-22, we've helped close to 16,000 Prince Georgians with free and dependable home internet access. We are excited to continue our partnership with County Executive Also Brooks and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library on the Books from Birth program. We currently have 14,000 plus children enrolled to receive a free book in the mail each month until they reach age 5, the highest enrollment in the state of Maryland and more than double the next highest jurisdiction, which is Baltimore City. Funding used for this widely popular program is projected to run out by the end of fiscal year 23. I hope for fiscal year 24, our great library system will be given the funds it needs to continue providing essential services like Sunday hours and the Books from Birth program, as well as retain our staff and recruit top talent. I know I speak for the full Board of Library Trustees when I say we look forward to working together and strengthening our partnership with the County Executive's Office to make Prince George's proud. Thank you so very much for your time this evening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Smith. The next speaker is Amy Olivo.
Good evening, County Executive Also Brooks, Mr. Early, Ms. Hendricks, and my fellow Prince Georgian neighbors. My name is Amy Olivo, and I'm here this evening to advocate for increased healthcare equity for our county. I commend you, County Executive, your team, the Prince George's County Council, and Dr. Goldson and her team for your incredible investment in building new schools, which are so desperately needed for our children. In addition to the P3 schools currently under construction, Glen Ridge Area Middle School was funded through the traditional model is being built right now. In my former role with the county, I was lucky enough to serve on the community design team for this building. Community members on this team advocated for 3,000 square feet of community space to be built into the new Glen Ridge Area Middle School. This 3,000 square feet of space is in the final plan and will be built. Crucially, it will include direct outside entrance so that those accessing the space do not need to walk through the school building. This is crucial because I am here to urge your leadership, County Executive, this evening to ensure that this community space is used to build a school-based health clinic at the new Glen Ridge Area Middle School. This school-based health clinic, I urge, should be run by one of our Prince George's County federally qualified health centers or another healthcare partner in the county, including Luminous Health, Kaiser, or our new hospital. We know that access to quality healthcare and the continuation of care are important determinants in eliminating the racial health gap. Glen Ridge Area Middle School is a perfect new school to house the county's first school-based health clinic in a middle school setting. Thanks to the crucial component of this outside entrance, this school-based health center could possibly serve not only the students and families of the 1,200 future middle school students at Glen Ridge Area Middle School, it could also serve members of the community. I urge you to work with our state and public school partners to take advantage of this community space at the new Glen Ridge Area Middle School to build a community-based health clinic. Funding will be needed to outfit the clinic and potentially to help support the first few years of operation in partnership with a county FQHC or hospital. I would like to note that even as I advocate for expanded community health-based services in this new middle school, I want to call your attention to the fact that none of our 4 current school-based wellness centers, which are located at Bladensburg High School, Oxon Hill High School, Fairmont Heights High School, and Northwestern High School are currently operating. Again, none of our 4 current school-based wellness centers are currently operating. I urge you to ensure the appropriate funding is in place to staff and oversee these 4 current school-based wellness clinics, and to work again with our county and state partners to ensure that we're able to open our first middle school school-based health clinic at Glen Ridge Area Middle School. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Diane Lavoie. One moment.
Thank you. I think I am now unmuted.
Yes, thank you. Please begin.
There we are. Thank you. I am now a panelist again. Thank you very much for allowing us to provide this testimony. And I want to say good evening, County Executive Brooks and OMB Director Early. My name is Diane Lavoie. I'm here as a resident of Cheverly and a member of the Cheverly Forum for Accountability and Action. The forum advances inclusion, equity, and justice in our town. I'd like to urge the county to increase investment in community-based health services that are located in our public schools across the whole county. We know that access to quality health care, especially preventive services, are really important determinants in eliminating the racial health gap. First, let me focus just briefly on what my colleague and neighbor Amy Olivo has pointed out. The Glen Ridge Area Middle School will be opening next fall to serve 1,200 middle school students in the northern part of the county, including my neighbors here in Cheverly. 3,000 square feet of space in that school is being built for community use. We believe this is an ideal opportunity to build a school-based health clinic, or SBHC, at the Glen Ridge Area Middle School. Second, I want to reiterate again what Amy Olivo said. None of the 4 existing school-based wellness clinics in PG CPS high schools is currently operating. that needs to be addressed, as she pointed out. We urge you to ensure that the needed funding is given for staff and for staffing and overseeing these school-based clinics. They should be providing crucial services to the students of these 4 schools and to their families. Third and final, please consider the many benefits of school-based health centers. These have been widely documented in studies. They include reduced absences, reduction in student hospitalization, and gains in grade point averages. I want to add to this my personal observations during the years leading up to before the pandemic, when I served as a court-qualified Spanish interpreter in Montgomery County. I was very impressed by how the staff at in that county's school-based health centers were able to identify and effectively address many issues that affected the well-being of students from Hispanic and other minority households. These issues ranged from the need to provide inoculations to kids so that they didn't have to take time off to go see a doctor and their parents didn't have to get out of work to do that, to more complex issues. And I saw this amazing health work by these staff at the school-based health centers on things like teen pregnancy, gang violence, fear of eviction, and other concerns affecting mental health. All of these issues, if they were not addressed, would surely have caused the loss of many days of school. So I hope you'll invest in school-based health by including a clinic in the new Glen Ridge Middle School and by ensuring full staffing and funding of all existing school-based clinics. And the forum has, the Cheverly Forum has submitted written testimony. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. The next speaker, Clarine Heigl.
Yes, hello. Hi, I'm Clarine Heigl. I am from Cheverly, as well as the 2 previous speakers, and a member of a grassroots community organization here in town that's called the Cheverly Community Forum for Accountability and Action. And this is one of the issues in the county that we felt is so important to advocate for. So I'm here also to speak as a citizen and also as a retired physical therapist who worked in the Prince George's County school system for 40 years. And I have great admiration for the teachers and the nurses that have worked in the county schools for all those years. So not to belabor the points too much, but I'm here to advocate that there be funding for all of the 4 school-based health clinics in Prince George's County. And I would point out that in the state, our research has shown that Baltimore County has 18 school-based health clinics. Montgomery County has 14 school-based clinics. And Prince George's County has 4, of which people have also mentioned are not completely staffed. So there is a great need in this county for us to get started on staffing and also funding this new community space at Glen Ridge Middle School, which we hope and pray will be designated as a healthcare clinic. It's an amazing space to be used for that. I strongly urge that you support that. I worked in the county, as I said, for 40 years as a physical therapist, but mostly in special education. And I witnessed the valuable service of school nurses on a daily basis. However, nurses are stretched very thin when it comes to addressing health needs that extend beyond the scope of the whole school day. And I think Diane mentioned a few of those that impact middle schoolers and high schoolers. So a school-based clinic would be able to handle those needs in an expedited way that, as I would see, would be a blessing also to parents, because they are, for the most part, as I've seen, overwhelmed with having medical appointments for their children. And it often might mean sacrificing pay or maybe having problems on their job if they have to take off so many days for appointments for their children. And most parents have more than one children. Health services convenient to the nearby communities. As Amy was saying, this one in Glen Ridge Middle School would be open to the community. Has an impact on diminishing the racial health gaps in our county. And they make preventative and prophylactic care possible that can eliminate future medical costs to the county, but can also increase, as Diane Lavoie mentioned, seat time for students so that they aren't absent from school. And just in closing, I just briefly would like to mention a study in New York. There was a multi-site evaluation of elementary schools in the Bronx, compared students attending school with and without school-based health clinics. They found that access to school-based health clinics was associated with a significant reduction in the rate of hospitalizations and a gain of 3 days of school.
Ms. Heichel, you've reached
with
your
asthma.
limit. I'm sorry. If you can also submit your comments via email. Thank you. The next speaker is Joseph Jakuta.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Jakuta, and I'm the lead volunteer of Climate Parents of Prince George's. I want to thank County Executive Alsa Brooks for this opportunity to address y'all on the fiscal year 2024 budget. Climate Parents is a campaign to reduce climate change causing pollution in our schools, and our group is active here in Prince George's. In particular, we recently worked with PGCPS technical staff and other advocates to develop a first-in-the-nation school climate change action plan. PGCPS will certainly ask for funds in regards to what is necessary to implement their climate change action plan, which was constructed as a complement to the one adopted by the County Council and being implemented under the leadership of County Executive Alsa Brooks now. Support should be provided for what they need to implement this, including but not limited to the funding of solar installations, energy management systems in the buildings, electric buses, food waste reduction, climate-friendly foods, electric heat pump HVACs, and green infrastructure. Additionally, PGCPS's CEO Monica Golson recently announced the school system would discontinue the installation of new synthetic turf fields. We asked that the county commit to ending funding for new synthetic turf fields on their park properties as well. This both helps the environment, children's health, and alleviates ballooning end-of-life costs to the county. The county also has a role in making our streets safe for walkers and bikers. Students do not have access to buses in our county if they're within 1.5 miles of an elementary school or 2 miles of other schools. Those students need safe routes to school. They need better investment in sidewalks, bike lanes, bike trails, and traffic safety. The county must prioritize investments in this over road expansion. Last but certainly not least, we cannot have a sustainable future for our children without a stable, functioning democracy. In 2018, legislation, CB 99-2018, was passed, allowing for matching funds for election candidates in Prince George's County, but the Fair Election Fund is yet to be budgeted for. In the FY-24 budget, we must include the funds for this program to flourish. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Gretchen Jones.
Okay. I'm able to access camera. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you, Ms. Jones. You can begin.
Okay, yes. I am just a concerned resident of Prince George's County for over 50 years. And I'm concerned about all of the townhouse development. And I would hope that Executive Alsa Brooks would look into that, because we don't have the appropriate school numbers as well as stores to accommodate all of the townhouses that are being built. We've had some wonderful improvement and not all good improvement. So I would like for someone to look into that, and I certainly would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Tamara Brown Davis.
Good evening, and thank you, County Executive Alsa Brooks, for hosting this budget listening session. Last year, I had an opportunity to present on a personal matter dealing with some sidewalks, and I thank Mr. Floyd Holt, who you referred, and we got that done very quickly. I'm here as an individual proud and powerful, as you said in your inauguration address, Prince Georgian, and want to support wholeheartedly the entire budget for the Department of Public Works and Transportation. Had an opportunity to meet with the team, the new director, Mr. Johnson, and very happy about the initiatives that they've done. As you know, it's part of making us proud and powerful is to make sure that we put on the best face forward, not only for ourselves, but also our visiting public. We know that Andrews Air Force, Joint Base Andrews serves as the home of Air Force One, and not only our President of the United States, but many dignitaries have to travel through Prince George's County, and we want to put the best face forward. So we thank you for all the litter blitz that you're working with the county civic leaders. There was a big push on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. I did notice today driving through Oxon Hill that there were some trash that was actually picked up and put to the side, but they have not been, the Department of Public Works and Transportation or DOE has not come back and picked up the collected litter. So we want to make sure that we do that as well. More importantly, I'm here to talk about within the DPWT budget is I was happy to see in the presentation from Director Johnson that they are using grant funding, and happy that it's not just all tax dollars that we're going after and pursuing grant funding. I heard you mention that earlier today, so thank you for that. But also with respect to our state roads, that and particularly Maryland 210, you know that I'm a member of the Traffic Safety Committee that's really trying to help bring down the number of deaths on that stretch of roadway, which is, of course, unfortunately, what we consider the highway of death because it has so many accidents and fatalities, pedestrian as well as bicycle. So I kind of echo some of the thoughts there, but I was a little disheartened to see in one of our FOIA requests that money that has been set aside or given to the county from MGM in order to do the necessary improvements along 210, that there has to be a sub-agreement, and the onus is upon State Highway Administration to ask for the funding from the county. And I understand that we need to have some checks and balances and make sure that state funding goes along with whatever county funding is done, more proactive, particularly on that particular stretch of road, to get the improvements done, and that the county request and be ready to submit those MGM funds for further improvements along Maryland 210. So thank you. Please support the DPWT budget fully. And if you have any funds left over, give them some more money because we need it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tamara. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Layla Riazi.
Yes, good evening. Thank you, County Executive Also Brooks, for setting aside this time. And I'll do my best not to take all of my time this evening. I'm here under a number of things, and I wanted really to start by congratulating you and congratulating the county on the passage of the Climate Action Plan, and really to call for you to continue to be as supportive of as you have been for the implementation of the Climate Action Plan. That step that we are now involved in is critically important. And then to call for action for the funding of all of the things that are outlined in here. And others have spoken to that, and I won't take time on that. But I wanted to take time to speak more specifically on an aspect of the plan that is not as big and flashy as some of the other areas. And it does involve, when we talk about the tree conservation, and we talk about trying to improve the the number of trees in our environment and trying to be better prepared for climate change and to be more resilient. All of these things really talk about maintaining our mature tree canopy coverage. And there are many threats to that in our environment. And some people have already gone over that, the way that we handle development, just some of the things that we have in place. But what I really wanted to call your attention to this evening, and what brings me here, is the issue of native plantings and of removal of invasives. And I'm here, as you already know, County Executive Also Brooks, I was 11 years in municipal government. And in that time, I spent a lot of time listening and a lot of time listening to people trying to figure out, how do we do better? How do we come together to do more? And I'm here under the hat of being a member of the Community Native Planting Project this evening, CNPP. And CNPP actually started in Cheverly as a Cheverly Native Planting Project and has since grown. And that project, it's a local nonprofit organization that believes in the power of native plants as cornerstones in restoring the ecological balance. So reducing invasive non-native plants, decreasing the amount of turf grass, reestablishing site-appropriate native plants. And all of this is an aspect of addressing climate change. And we're continuing to grow. And so we're asking you to please invest money in native plants and invasive removal. So if you would please think of that very specifically in this budget, it's much needed. And specifically when we're talking about removal of invasives from our park and planning places. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The next speaker, Heather House. I'm sorry, County Executive.
I was just saying, thank you. Hi, Layla. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Ms. Halsey. Halsey.
Yep, Halsey. Thank you, County Executive Also Brooks, for the opportunity to testify. My name is Heather Halsey. I'm the Program Manager for Maryland Market Money, a statewide food access program of Marbidco and the Southern Maryland Agricultural Development Commission that's been supported by your County Council budget via DHS since 2019, and we appreciate your support so much. Our program has been operating at participating farmers markets in the county since 2014 and at County WIC Clinic pop-up farmers markets since 2021. Direct marketing farms in the county with farm stands and or CSAs are also eligible to participate. First, I applaud the county's dedication. You've always been a leader in Maryland to addressing and prioritizing food insecurity long before the pandemic. And I'm here to ask you to continue to provide DHS with at least the full current FY-23 funding level and perhaps more additional support if the budget allows for the Maryland Market Money program in FY-24. The public demand for our services grows each year in the county, and we've already exhausted 3/4 of our healthy food incentive budget that needs to last until June 30th. And as you're well aware, the pandemic is not over and has created a dire food insecurity spiral. And additionally, rapid food cost inflation has become a reality for all of us, but especially for county residents experiencing food insecurity. Additionally, SNAP benefit emergency allotments are scheduled to end at the end of February nationwide, which means the most vulnerable families will be faced with severe cutbacks to their already meager food budgets. The levels of need are not going down. So now more than ever, Maryland Market Money's food access work throughout the county is essential. By lowering economic barriers to healthier, fresher foods that are unprocessed, our program responds directly to food insecurity by helping families afford fresh, nutritious, local food while helping another economically hard-hit demographic in the process, which is our local farmers. Your funding also supports job creation at markets by allowing a stipend for markets to hire food access coordinators who also work to ensure that farmers markets are welcoming and inclusive community spaces for everyone. Augmenting the food budgets of struggling county families is distinct from a food giveaway. Our program is an income-related solution that gives county residents the autonomy and the agency to choose the healthier food they want to feed their families and the ability to afford more of the fresh produce and nutrient-dense, high-quality food that their families need to thrive. Additionally, our program data demonstrates that every dollar spent in Maryland market money is accompanied by $1.70 in federal nutrition benefits spending, resulting in $2.70 for the Prince George's local economy and for local farmers who struggle to stay profitable and also experienced unprecedented losses due to the pandemic. So in short, this funding continues to be a multitasking investment that is helping to counteract the ill effects of our new normal, where so many are at risk of facing hunger. It helps feed county families, stimulates the local economy, creates jobs, and supports our local food system, all of which are vital to our long and uncertain path to economic recovery. Thank you for listening and supporting our vital work to help county residents.
Thank you. The next speaker is Henry Wexham.
Good evening, County Executive Also Brooks, Mr. Early and Ms. Hendricks. Thank you so much for the opportunity to appear before you tonight and to speak about the county's FY-24 budget. My name is Henry Wixon, and I'm the president of the Glendale Citizens Association, which is a civic association serving the residents of Greater Glendale and Prince George's County, generally encompassing the 20769 zip code and surrounding environs, since 1948. And we will submit for the record a letter with a more fulsome description of some of our requests. So I want to highlight just a couple of things this evening. First, I'd like to talk about the Glendale Hospital. Located on just over 200 acres, the hospital is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It's a Prince George's County Historic District, and it's located in a priority funding area. Despite that, the hospital has been labeled one of the Maryland's most endangered historic places. The Glendale Citizens Association and our sister association, the Lincoln Vista Civic Association, have championed the adaptive reuse of the signature Glendale Hospital buildings on 60 acres of that site and the use of the balance of the site for a regional park for well over 2 decades. Several years ago, the County Redevelopment Authority contracted with the Alexander Company, a well-known developer or redeveloper of historic sites nationally, to evaluate the adaptive reuse and redevelopment of the signature hospital buildings on 60 acres of the site. However, we have not heard a word from RDA or from the Alexander Company for well over a year, in fact, since the fall of 2021. County funding for the Glendale Hospital in this FY-24 budget is desperately needed so that RDA continues this adaptive reuse and redevelopment project. In addition, we need FY-24 budget funding for over 150 acres of the hospital site for park use as an eventual major regional park amenity, which we need in our part of the county, in the northern part, especially when combined with the eventual acquisition of the USDA plant introduction station adjacent to it, which has been designated to be accessed through the FASTA process by the Public Buildings Reform Board. This regional park should include a variety of recreational opportunities and focus on creating key connections to nearby neighborhoods and the adjacent WB&A trail. And the Glendale Hospital Regional Park, not the Glendale Community Center, should also include multi-generational facilities. The second thing I'd like to chat about just briefly is Glendale Elementary School. And as a number of other speakers have mentioned, the local school is the heart of a community, and it's no different for us in Glendale. We've supported the Glendale Elementary School for many, many years. And we are asking now is that facility itself is worthy of historic designation. That is wonderful, but it presents challenges and the school is overcrowded. So we'd ask you for your support for funding to support the improvement and possible expansion of the Glendale Elementary School. With that, and as I say, we'll provide more details in our letter. I want to thank you for the opportunity to appear before you this evening and providing this opportunity for county residents to talk about the budget.
Thank you. The next speaker is Sadeh Argi. If you could please unmute. Sadeh, can you unmute? Okay, I'll come back to you. Susan Pearl as the next speaker. Susan Pearl.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Hello?
you.
All right, my name is Susan Pearl. I'm a resident of District 4 and a member and president of the Prince George's Philharmonic, our county's own and only symphony orchestra, and I might add, the only symphony orchestra in the world that has been conducted by our county executive, Angela Alsobrooks. We are grateful for the support that the county has provided to us in previous years, and we want to encourage you to continue. The Philharmonic got started in 1964, and we're more than halfway through our 57th season, an amazing record for a community orchestra. We are proud of the fact that for the education and enjoyment of our community, we provide great music at 5 or 6 concerts each season. And we bring our audience here not only from within the county, but from the surrounding area and the District of Columbia. Perhaps even more important, we provide free instrumental lessons by professional teachers to students of our county because we pay attention to the statistics that clearly show the benefits of music education to the overall performance of our students. Also, at each of our February concerts, advanced instrumental students are invited to perform with the Philharmonic, giving them the experience of performing with seasoned musicians. We have partnered with other institutions and organizations, such as NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, with our out-of-this-world multimedia performance of The Planets, and with CAPA, the Coalition for African Americans in the Performing Arts, which we did in last month's very exciting performance of everyone's beloved Peter and the Wolf. We are, of course, a nonprofit organization, and we depend on and are very grateful for the county's financial support that helps us cover the high cost for the use of the concert halls where we
Ms. Pearl? Well, I will go to the next speaker, to April Bowen Worsley.
Hello, good evening all. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I only have a short comment and my only request, first of all, I'm from District 8 and my passions are litter removal and crime reduction. So I would just ask that any budgetary allocations be placed in increasing the litter removal. I know CEO also Brooks has started a task force and we appreciate it. Our district it just seems like litter is everywhere, and our organizations, homeowners organizations are trying to do litter pickups, but it's just not enough and it's not safe on the county road. So those are my issues. Crime reduction, maybe we can start some kind of after school or midnight basketball, something to give these kids somewhere to be and something productive, maybe summer work programs. That's all I have, and thank you so much.
The next speaker, Dr. Abdul Sensei.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me and County Executive Angela. I'm talking on behalf of City of Light, Helping Hands, a community development corporation, and also being a pastor in the community as well. But my advocacy is for the food pantry, culturally appropriate food, something that we've been very effective in Montgomery County, and now in PG County, we requesting and looking forward as I join all the food providers in Prince George's County, advocating for culturally appropriate food, and every budget that is being put in place consider the the food industry, because many a times the battle that we used to have, many people coming into food pantries think like the food that have been given in the food pantries are not appropriate. So Prince George's County is made up of many Africans that come in and participate in the events of the county, work in the county. And so likewise, with the food industry, we consider funding towards it, especially most of the food suppliers are struggling with cold storage facility to protect the food from being contaminated. So my request in any budget is not that much, just consider improving and increasing whatever supply is being given to the food industry. And I speak on behalf of City of Light and all the food providers in Prince George's County. We're very effective. We work in Montgomery County here as well. I'm part of the East County Hub. And as we extended in Prince George's County, where we have a bigger facility than what we have in Montgomery County, we're looking forward to every support that the county, and we're blessed to have a county executive here with us today. So we look forward to every support to be inclusive in the budget towards the food industry. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Next speaker, Daniel Smith.
Okay, joining you here. Thank you. Thanks very much. Dan Smith from Chevrolet. I am congratulations on the many achievements of the past 4 years, County Executive. My comments and requests, I think, align very much with the 6 proud principles you highlighted to begin the listening session. I urge full funding and support for the Fair Election Fund. The public funding of campaigns in the county is called for in a law passed, I think it was in 2018. This should be fully in place, I would hope, for the 2026 elections and for any special election that may occur in eligible offices before then. Funding in the coming budget, I would hope, could make up for any lack of full or adequate funding in recent years. Given the embarrassing and really illegal fiasco over redistricting that occurred last year, this would go far to invigorate a people-centered election system by giving residents a fighting chance to run campaigns independent of big money. I also urge full implementation and further development of the County Climate Action Plan, as many people have referred to already, including substantial expansion of forest and land conservation and restoration programs, and incentives for redevelopment over new sprawl development that is not at all transit-oriented. The results of a new study just released in December that the state legislature commission done by the Hughes Center had some sobering findings. Forest loss across the state is substantial, and Prince George's is leading the way in forest loss by far. Development is the primary source of this loss. New developments can no longer be given a pass when it comes to climate change impacts and forest loss. Climate change requires different development standards and strategies. I applaud the county efforts for beautification. Study shows that people are happier, healthier when they live in communities that they identify as beautiful. Quality of life is enhanced. Public health is improved. There's no reason this cannot be the case throughout the county, but let's be clear, community beautification is more than skin deep. Eliminating trash, revitalizing buildings, sidewalks, transportation corridors is important and necessary, but not enough. We need quality development that's transit-oriented, redevelopment, not sprawl development. The new council majority is committed to reforming development to make it community-centered, not development-centered. Please support important development reform. And remember, poor development is not good economic policy and undermines every one of the 6 proud principles of your administration. In closing, showing leadership on these issues in the state will position the county to leverage our investments to access newly available state and federal funds that are now coming online. Funds available
Mr.
to
Smith,
restore the
your time
environment.
is up.
Okay, and get beyond fossil fuels. Thanks so much.
Thank you. The next speaker, Barry Rowan. Rowan?
Yeah. Good evening. Thank you very much indeed, Madam County Executive, for the opportunity to testify before you today. My name is Barry Rowan. I work for Solution in Hometown Connection in Riverdale, Maryland. When the Taliban returned to power in August 2021, my family and I were forced to leave behind our home and flee Afghanistan. After spending time in Pakistan and other places, we finally arrived in Maryland in December 2021. We are so grateful to the people of the state of Maryland and Prince George County for welcoming us and helping us create our new home here. It continues to give me joy every day to see how the local community welcome Afghans and other refugees from around the world. When I first visited Riverdale and a local apartment community of newcomer families, I learned that it is called Kuchunai, Afghanistan. This means Little Afghanistan in my language. Also, Riverdale is called Afghandale among Afghans. It is truly a village where everyone helps lift each other up for a successful start in the United States. And Prince George County, residents, neighbors, community organization, and county services all work together in partnership to light pathways to empowerment and independence for newcomers like me every day. Tonight, I would like to respectfully request that the fiscal year 2024 budget include funding for Prince George County based organization like Solution in Hometown Connections that provides warm and welcoming programs and connects newcomers to local services and the community. I came to know about Solution in Hometown Connections in February of 2022 when I brought my wife and 2 daughters to SHC English class at the New Carrollton Library. SHC told me about your English learning program and group meetings for mothers and children. My wife enrolled in SHC classes. SHC helped connect her to a volunteer tutor. Now she is working part-time in a local nursery school and my girls are enrolled in school. This interaction led to many good outcomes for my family, including my first job in the United States. I started working at SHC in June 2022. I managed a housing assistance program that was possible thanks to the advocacy of the Honorable State Delegate Dini Taversa when she was representing District 2 of Prince George County. Her work in partnership with Montgomery County allowed SHC to award housing assistance grants to 200 vulnerable Afghan families across both counties. I also initiated that soon as we serve 400 Prince George County residents who are refugees.
Your time is up.
Thank you very much for your servant and dynamic leadership.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Diane Harris. I think Lori has left the meeting.
Okay, I'm speaking just as a Prince George's County resident. I live in the Fort Washington area, and my concern is the same as others who have expressed the problems that we have providing safe transit for people that are vulnerable road users, specifically those that are pedestrians or cyclists. And it's just over the past few years, it's become increasingly dangerous for pedestrians and cyclists who walk, ride, or attempt to cross Indian Head Highway that's in southern Prince George's County. As someone has already mentioned, that this is called the Highway of Death, and it is, unfortunately meets that description. Construction along the road designed to improve vehicle traffic has made it worse. There are many areas along this highway where you have residential areas on one side, businesses, shopping, restaurants on the other, and it's very unsafe for pedestrians to try to navigate getting from one side to the other. My question is, even though this is a state road, it travels through Prince George's County and it impacts all of Prince George's County residents. So my question is, what can be done to improve the safety for all who use this road? I look at what's being done to Old Georgetown Road in Montgomery County. They have far fewer accidents and pedestrian cyclist fatalities than Indian Head Highway does. I look at what they're doing to improve that stretch of road and wonder why can't Prince George's County do something along the same lines? Again, understanding that it is a state road, there has to be some coordination between Prince George's County and Maryland DOT to make that road safer for all who use it. I thank you for giving me this time to speak.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker is Timothy Mitchell. I will try to unmute you. Mr. Mitchell, can you unmute? Mr. Mitchell?
Thank you.
Please begin. Mr.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to share my thoughts on a topic that is close to my heart and that I feel merits your consideration to be included in the county budget. My name is Timothy Mitchell, and I am the founder, president, and CEO of YES, the Young Entrepreneurs Society, a new county nonprofit organization based in Greenbelt. I am an educator and social entrepreneur who has worked over the past 3 decades to help children, teens, and adults in New England, Ireland, Kenya, Zambia, and here in the county to develop their own pipelines to prosperity. I ask you to imagine, if you will, a future in which every Prince Georgian child and teenager has developed a 21st century entrepreneurial mindset and has experienced the thrill of starting their own small business or charity. What unique needs might they meet? Or what pressing social problems might they solve? And regardless of the outcome, they will have developed the fortitude and resilience to build on their successes and learn from their failures. We do have several programs that support our young entrepreneurs here in the county, such as those offered by the police, Junior Achievement, NIFTY, Bowie State, and others. But with over 60,000 teens in the county, these programs and others need to be drastically scaled up to reach them all. Now, imagine that we have prepared every Prince Georgian child and teenager to be job ready, from finding and starting their very first job to keeping and advancing in their position, thanks to the value they bring to their workplace as an employee who thinks like a business owner. They will also know how to adapt, pivot, and land on their feet when chat AI or the next technology or economic trend upends their industry. Thanks to programs like the Youth at Work Summer Youth Enrichment Program, our youth have a tremendous leg up. But again, there is plenty of need for expanding such opportunities. Then imagine that we have helped our kids and teens learn and develop financial savviness, knowing how to plan, budget, save, invest, borrow, and protect their earnings and assets. What foundation of security and opportunity might they create for themselves and their descendants, even as some of their forebears may have been denied this opportunity? So how wonderful that our schools, at the behest, I understand, of a teen business owner, have made financial literacy a requirement of graduation. And finally, imagine these kids, teens, and future adults paying their time and talents and treasure forward, helping others in their communities overcome the inevitable challenges of a complex, changing world that we adults bequeath them. In my professional capacity, and as a parent who built a small business with my 12-year-old, I have seen firsthand and have often been surprised by how eagerly kids and teens grasp and apply these tools for making a living, making a difference, and making a life. I think you'll agree that we want our youth to enjoy a future full of hope, of having the opportunity to be part of a new generation and world, one in which they want to live in, not escape from. Entrepreneurs solve problems, and we all know this world is chock full of them. We need far more equipped, up to the task, and impassioned
Mr.
change
Mitchell,
makers.
your time is past. The next speaker is Dwayne Brown. Mr. Brown.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me? My name is Dwayne Brown. Excuse me for being a little nervous. I'm coming on wearing three hats. I'm coming as a born citizen of Prince George's County, born and raised in Prince George's County. I'm also coming as an artist here in Prince George's County. I've had the opportunity, been blessed to work on a national level in Hollywood, and now I'm back here in Prince George's County as well. But I come to you to support the Prince George's County Arts and Humanities Council. This program has been a tremendously support to all the artists here in the county. And I urge you to look at some of the artwork that's coming out of these districts and these young folks to support these projects. In the past, this organization has supported me in a lot of projects that I've done, but not only myself, but I'm able to assist and help some of the youth in getting them started and getting going their way to work in the arts. I encourage you to come out to support the film festival. That was last year was the first one, but I encourage you to come to next year to support the arts in this endeavor. Share a short story with you on one of my projects back a while ago. One of my students goes to Morehouse University, and I was calling him to check on him. And I was telling him that Spike Lee was doing having a new program with the colleges down there, Morehouse, Clark-Atlanta, et cetera. And he proceeds and says, "Oh, I just had lunch with Spike." I was like, whoa. And he was talking about some of the experiences that he gained here in Prince George's County from the knowledge and the support of the Arts and Humanities Council. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Again, I ask you to support the Prince George's County Arts Humanities Council. It's not just about the arts, it's about giving our youth the opportunity to express themselves. And I advise you to come out and see some of the wonderful things that they're doing. And County, Ms. Alder Brooks, congratulations on the wonderful job that you're doing. And thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. The next speaker, Dennis McLaren. McLaren. Mr. McLaren, if you can.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Get started.
Yes, my name is Dennis McLaren. I've been a resident of Prince George's County all my life. I recently resided in Brandywine, Maryland, District 9. My biggest pet peeve right now is what is going on or going to be done with the cold ash recycling that's getting into the environment and that is in the air that we breathe, as well as spilling into the streets that we travel from the aggregates recycling field off of McKendree Road and Gardner Road. I have no idea what the effects may be from inhaling the material, and I'm literally surrounded by the two fields. I'm forced on a daily basis to go out of my way to travel longer routes to and from versus benefiting from the two shortcuts available to me. I cannot keep my car clean, and the ash is very hard to remove from the car and the tires. Therefore, please let me know how safe this is, as well as the solution to the problem, and hopefully funding can be done to help us alleviate this problem in our area.
Thank you, Mr. McLaren. The next speaker is Roger Leisure-Wood. I'm going to unmute you. Can you unmute Mr. Leisure-Wood? Okay, I will go to the next speaker, Mr. Colin Bird.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Colin Bird. I live in Greenbelt, Maryland, and I am grateful to testify tonight as on behalf of the PGCMLS Foundation Board, the Prince George's County Memorial Library System Foundation Board, as the chair of the board. I first want to thank you, Madam County Executive, and your team for your continued support of the library's role in advancing your administration's priorities in FY 2024, including employee retention and recruitment. I'm also grateful that I've had the good fortune of working closely with members of your senior team, including Ms. Joy Russell and Terry Bill. I want to thank them for their fine work as part of your team. I also want to acknowledge that I am grateful to support the libraries tonight. I grew up frequenting our libraries, Greenbelt Library, Bowie Library, and more recently, New Carrollton Library, and I've been to libraries all across the county. The PGCMLS Foundation is pleased to continue its work, its support of the work of the library system to help it expand programs and services to meet the needs of the community. The staff of the library, from Mr. Nick Brown, Michael Gannon, John Fife, and Robin Jackson, they do an excellent job at establishing public-private partnerships to maximize impact, whether partnering with the foundation and Wawa to distribute hundreds of free new winter coats to children in need, or partnering with Capital One to add IT certification classes for customers seeking employment and offer computer classes for refugees from Afghanistan and asylum seekers from Central America. I would like to encourage you to continue to collaborate with the library system, as it is a highly effective and nimble organization that advances the priorities of your administration every day, whether in partnering with Prince George's County Health Connect to get uninsured residents enrolled in health insurance, or offering thousands of educational programs like story times and financial literacy programs throughout the year. Please help the library reach its potential for serving the community by fully funding their FY 2024 proposed budget and their budget enhancement requests. The PGCMLS Foundation looks forward to continued fruitful partnership between the county government and the library, as all Prince Georgians benefit from the diverse collection services and programs PGCMLS offers. Please continue to invest in the talented staff of local residents who work at the library. They are an essential ingredient for the library and county as a whole to achieve your vision for a thriving and proud Prince George's County. Thank you so much for your consideration of my testimony, and I sincerely hope you continue to be blessed in your service to this county and in all that you are ultimately called to do.
Thank you, Mr. Bird. The next speaker is Joe Dixon.
Good evening, County Executive Officer Brooks. My name is Joe Dixon, and I am a library employee for 15 years. I also am the Executive Vice President of UFCW Local 1994, representing library employees. And I'm a lifelong county resident. I just wanted to take some time quickly to, encourage you to support the library's 2024 FY-24 budget and fund it fully. And I just want to take a couple of moments to go through some of the experiences and services the library offers. Recently, I had the pleasure of assisting a customer who was seeking she was seeking her real estate license, and I was able to provide some services that the library offers and digital resources, and able to spend time with her and walk through those with her. At the end of our discussion, she was extremely happy with the services that we had, and I was very proud to be a part of that interaction and know that we were able to offer something that will allow her to better her life. The second example I wanted to bring up was something that also happened recently at the location that I work. Unfortunately, we had a child come in that was escorted by one of our frequent customers that had been mugged, and he was crying on the side of the street, and the customer felt confident enough to bring him to our branch because he knew that we would be able to assist him. And along with our officer there, we were able to offer him a place where he was both comfortable, or as comfortable as possible, and that he was safe, and we were able to protect him while his family came and got him. Now, unfortunately, we are facing an issue where we are severely understaffed, and we are hemorrhaging employees, and we don't have the funds to pay competitive wages compared to surrounding areas. Fortunately, we do have the infrastructure to change that. We have a library board of trustees that advocates for us and ensures that our policies aligns with the needs of the citizens. We have our management that continuously works to explore new ways to engage with our customers and offer additional services. We also have our union that offers a voice for the employees. And then we have the employees, the workers themselves, who execute day in and day out to meet the needs of our citizens. The only thing we need
your time is up.
Is the means to do so. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. You can please submit written comments as well. The next speaker is Tyrone Wells. Mr. Wells, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Mr. Wells, can you unmute? One more time, Mr. Wells, can you unmute? If not, the next speaker is Heather Murphy. Ms. Murphy?
Hello.
Hello. Yes. We can hear you. Can unmute yourself.
Yes. I'm sorry. Good evening. You can hear me now?
Yes, please start. Yes.
Okay. Good evening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I am a lifetime citizen of PG County, and recently some of the things that's come to my attention in my situation, being a single mother and having disabilities, looking for help, whether it be with housing or what have you. I'm continuously told by social services and other government agencies there is no help whatsoever in PG County. I was just wondering, is there going to be anything in the new budget that will assist with people that have disabilities in housing, for instance, like HUD or Section 8 options for people with disabilities, or any additional funding coming to people that are in situations like I am, and I'm just continuously told that there's no resources in PG County. It's an overwhelming feeling because I've even had people tell me, well, maybe you should move to other counties in Maryland that's more affordable. And I just find that to be atrocious, if you will, because I don't feel as if I should have to move out of a community or there's no support to help. Also, in regards to children and crime and things that's happening in the area, as I live in District 8, District Heights, there's continuous break-ins in the cars and things being stolen. But what I've noticed is there's also not a lot of resources or support for parents that are low income to find activities for the children. So those are two big things that me as a single mother with disabilities is facing. So yes, if you could particularly pay attention to that, because I know there's a lot of people in the same situation as I am, and there's just no help. And I understand that there is churches and things that are helping, but they're becoming overwhelmed as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Tyrone Wells on. I just want to check one more time to unmute, see if you can unmute. Okay, I'll go to the next person. Barbara Bearden.
Hi, thank you so much for having this forum and listening to citizens. I would love to echo so many of what my neighbors have said. Protecting our canopy, providing fully protected bike lanes and safe pedestrian walkways throughout Prince George's County. I am a new resident of Prince George's County. I've been here for a little over a year now, and I had the pleasure of seeing you, Ms. Alsa Brooks, at the Fairmont Heights community meeting, where you spoke a little bit about something that really caught my ear. You mentioned that here in Prince George's County, our funding is like 70% from residents and only 30% from businesses. And I absolutely know that in order to provide housing opportunities and protect our canopy and have wonderful trails, that we need to be raising funds. And I would encourage you to be discerning about where those funds go. And I am particularly concerned about the arena that is near my house, the home of the Washington football team, and the owner there. I understand that we have this great resource, and I hope that it is put to use to actually feed into the surrounding community rather than what it is currently, which is essentially just a big stadium and not much else. And we need to make sure that the businesses who are coming here are investing in the people who live here and all the things that we've all mentioned and wanting to have. And that's all I want to say. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. The next speaker we have is Kashina Cross, and I'm going to send you a message to allow you to speak if you can unmute yourself. Ms. Cross? Okay, you can, seems like it's not working. You can also email your comments to us as well. The next speaker, Linda Jones. Okay. I do not see Ms. Jones anymore. Let's see. I believe that is the last speaker. Oh, I'm sorry. Arthie Wright. I'm sorry. I missed the name. I'm sorry. I'm going to unmute you now. Arthie Wright. If you can unmute yourself. Okay. And I think that's the last person. Well, thank you. County Executive, did you have any closing remarks you would like to make? Okay. If not, thank you to all of the residents who participated in the FY 2024 proposed budget listening session. As a reminder, written comments will continue to be accepted until Friday, January 27th, 2023. You can email any comments to omb@co.pg.md.us. And thank you and have a great evening.